Alright, so I'm currently trying to platinum every single type of EA game that there is out there, and if I can't do it before the channel hits 1 million subscribers, then my punishment is I have to platinum Fortnite, one of the longest, hardest, and most grindy games of all time. So make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Anyways, today I chose to platinum Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville, or if you want to make people very, very angry, Garden Warfare 3. I'm just kidding. This game is not anything at all like the Garden Warfare games. In fact, I'm not really sure what it is or why it exists. After playing it all the way through today to the platinum trophy, I still am unsure as to what the goal was of this game from the eyes of the developers, aside from, you know, some cha-ching, baby. But Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville has a total of 51 trophies, including the platinum trophy. It takes around 130 hours according to the guide, with 0 glitches to complete it, and that's pretty much all due to the trophy called Time to Seriously Go Outside from reaching master rank with 20 characters. However, as some of you may know if you follow me on both Instagram and Twitter, you know, if you don't follow me, then you're an idiot. But I actually managed to get this platinum today faster than, and I say this with complete honesty and truth, every single other person on the planet that we call Earth. My completion time was 23 hours of actual playtime, and since starting it, 1 day and 20 hours according to PSN profiles, putting me atop the leaderboards. Yes, you can bow down now, I won't judge. So, starting off today, the trophy guide has stage 1 being to complete the story missions and collect all the PvE exclusive trophies. However, I had a little birdie in my ear who goes by the name of Morty, one of, and I'm not joking, the best and most knowledgeable Plants vs. Zombies players in the world. If you remember in both of my previous Garden Warfare videos, he was a star in those as well because he knows the exact way to go about almost everything in the game, and he showed me this glitch that is extremely weird, and I also have zero clue how a single person figured it out, but it basically allows you to rank up your character within like 30 seconds every single time you do it, regardless of how high level or low level that they are. And this is how I managed to platinum the game in such a faster time than literally everybody else. But the glitch basically needs one player to have collected every single golden gnome and diamond gnome in town center, which is one of the many dumb and weird areas that is in this game. But then they go activate a quest that is started with all of those gnomes collected, and I honestly don't know what the quest is because Morty was doing this and not me. But as you load into the activity, I guess is what it's called, the second player, being me in this case, who is in need of the XP, just opens the text box by holding the right joystick, and you spam W until it's maxed out, and then keep on holding it down until you both load into the activity. And upon loading in, you can let go whenever you want, and then your player should have a voice chat pop up on the left hand side to signify that it worked. And if it did, player 1, being Morty in this instance, just leaves the mission. It then brings you to the loot room for the gnome collectibles, and then you can just spam open the chests over and over and over, which both gives you XP and a ton of tacos from it. I should also say that I forgot to mention this, but you actually both need to activate these 2 voice chat settings for it to work. My apologies, I want to lead you all astray, that's my main goal. But that's basically how you do the glitch. The only bad thing about it is that every time you do rank up, you need to close the game and then reopen it. At least I had to do that. Morty didn't need to unless his crashed or froze from this, but having to completely reset every time kind of sucked ass because this game's loading times are insanely slow. And it's one of the slowest start game to in-game loadings I have ever seen a video game have, and I'm not joking. It took me between 2 to 3 minutes every reset just to load back into the game and even begin to get this glitch set up again. Absolutely insane. And before we do move on, another funny thing about this glitch is that the button it shows to open the chest is from an Xbox controller. And it's also not even in the same spot because it's square for opening chest, which is the left button, so literally nothing about this glitch makes any sense at all, and I have no clue how anybody came up with it. Anyways, I pretty much did this with Morty for about 3.5 hours immediately when starting the game so I could try to make as much progress on the trophy as I could, because Morty's time zone that he lives in was like 6 or 7 hours ahead of mine, meaning it was a bit hard to time the boosting with each other, but shout out bro for staying up till like 5 AM doing this with me regardless. Now I didn't get every character maxed out, only about half the plants right now, but then Morty hopped off and I began to just pile drive through the story like she got pile drived in her sorority house freshman year of college. But the first trophy I would get in the game about 4 hours deep was called Hats All Folks from completing the mission Baron Palooza. This is one of the few missions in the town center map, and this game's story, by the way, is extremely short and does not last long at all. I'm not gonna make a comment on that statement, we all already know. Oh my god! But this game's story sucks. I mean, it's literally one of the most non-needed pieces of dog diarrhea I've seen a AAA billion-dollar game franchise serve up as something for its fans to play. You literally do like 4 missions in each area of the game and they all give you a trophy, and then it just gives you this objective of exploring after. Literally the laziest thing I've seen since my father's pullout game. Would have saved us all time today, me especially. But this Baron mission had us fight, you know, the Baron, a much higher health enemy than others. I was also joined by one of my friends, Michael, to just play this with me because he likes helping out whenever he can in videos, so it made dragging our nuts across the Baron's old wrinkly face pretty easy. And right when you do defeat him, the trophy pops from the mission. The next trophy I got was then actually one of the many kill trophies with characters in this game. Nearly every single character in the game has a trophy from just getting 200 kills with them. So W creativity, I love that nothing was repeated in the list whatsoever. However, I did this with the pea shooter first because that is my favorite plant in the game, and it's who I was playing from the start. I then completed a mission with a very weird name from the main story, which again gives a trophy like all the other main missions in the game. But this time we fought another boss, and fun fact, every single mission in the game story has you literally do the same thing but against a different character. I hate this shit already, I can't lie. Anyways, this mission had us tickle a man named Zen Sensei, who looks like Bobby Lee if he is locked in for f***'s sake. But the fight was actually super annoying because the dude went invincible numerous times while he meditated, and we just fought throwaway side enemies as he gooned in the corner. After he did finish though, we were also able to finish, and the trophy popped from defeating his wrinkly asshole. My next two trophies were then both from the story like you would expect because we are grinding that out like prom night right now, but the mission after was called I Treasure You. Okay, PopCap, I know we are like lovers now after this threesome, but cut it out with the sentiment of BS and drop Garden Warfare 3 on Dave. Anyways, this mission's big boy boss was the Yeti, who is a common feature fiend in a lot of Plants vs. Zombies games, but you actually don't kill him because plot armor, and instead you follow around an acorn. Yes, acorns. Like we are f***ing Alvin and the Chipmunks on a damn bender in the Bahamas. But if that sounds like a weird objective, I mean, it is. It gets much worse later, just you wait. But after we did follow these acorns, it led us underground, and I guess the Yeti followed them or something, and then the trophy popped. I am very confused right now. Oh yeah, and I guess the reason we interacted with all those people in these missions was to get their drip for our custom Fortnite skin that this hoe-ass Sunflower wanted. So I don't know if that helps the story make any sense, but I don't think it really does. I don't know if anything can make this game form a coherent thought, to be honest. Anyways, I actually reached the final mission in this world, and I do have to say that although this game's story sucks, as I have yapped about 40 times already, some of the boss fights are actually pretty cool, and they did nail the environment and beats of the fight, which other Garden Warfare games didn't quite hit the mark on. And the fight was against Old Cool in a nightclub, and it was a vibe, unfortunately. It always makes me upset when you can tell at least some people on the developer team knew what they were doing, but then others just barely tried and it just doesn't fit together. But the fight itself wasn't hard whatsoever. You did have to do a little bit of critical thinking here and there to even damage the guy, but if you sit around doing nothing, the Sunflower chick ends up saying what you need to do, and I know that because that's what happened to me and Michael. Combined, we have like 2 chromosomes. It's crazy we even made it to the nightclub. Anyways, after winning that battle, we also became a Leaf Cadet, I suppose, and then the trophy did pop with another useless lore drop. So with that done, I then just kind of played the game for a little bit, not continuing the story, because I was unaware that it actually did continue on another location in the game, and me and Michael just chased after some medals and events for a trophy called the Medals Medal, which requires 75 of them, but there's 200 total in the game, so it's not really a challenge to get those after everything is said and done. And before I did finally figure out where the story went, I got 2 trophies just from random BS. First, from just spawning 25 pots while I was playing the Garden Ops mode in this game. Unfortunately though, they nerfed Garden Ops in this game just as much as Jenna Ortega nerfed herself with Hollywood cosmetic surgery. Rest in peace to the GOAT. My second trophy was then just from destroying 20 targets at the range, which I did because I saw it was a trophy and said, hey, why not? I'm already mindlessly running around. What's the damage? And here's that. I then did do the first new quest in this new area of the game called Mount Steep. Again, this is just another area of the game because it has multiple of those. We don't know why. But this one had us defend some jail from zombies attacking it after we selected a posse to be a part of. And it was actually kind of hard. I almost choked, I'm not gonna lie. But I did swallow and save the jail from the outside interference of the crimes going on inside. Upon doing so, the trophy from that mission then popped. Oh yeah, and by the way, this world's plot is super weird, but hot cheese is flooding the world, and we tried to help with that in the next mission, but ultimately failed. And then we had to parkour as hot cheese rose up. If this isn't hot cheese, by the way, then I apologize, but it's only been a day since I played this game and I already forgot about it. And that sums up the game perfectly, I think. But after escaping the rising cheese though, you get another story trophy. I then just had to fight a mech for basically the entirety of the next mission, and after winning the fight, which was low-key hard, a trophy did pop as well. But that did thankfully lead us to the final mission in this dog-ass location of the game. Again, like usual, the boss fight at the end was pretty fun, and it still pisses me off that it is. But you fought this thing called a major problem, which is what we have right now because 59.5% of my viewership is not subscribed, and I am now one of those YouTubers. What have I done? Anyways, the fight was kind of fun because it was kind of like Floor's Lava except with cheese, and it smelled like a Tinder vag. Obviously, if you touch it, you die. I do think though that they ran out of ideas when we reached the top of the room, because then you just kind of kill the problem and it sinks into the cheese abyss below without anything cool really happening. But I got a trophy, so I'm gonna come regardless. Now after that, I didn't know how the story works, and like I said, there was just numerous worlds you go to, but actually there's not numerous, there's 3. Yeah, there's 3 total. And the next one was called Weirding Woods. I guess Wailing Woods is already taken. But this is the one zombie exclusive world, and also where the story just gets very, very odd. The first mission had us chase after a running away football dummy the entire time, and we also fought plants trying to kill us, I guess. Eventually, near the end, you also do end up on a giant one in an alternate reality, and you're also a goat. Fun fact, the mission was also given to us from a goat as well. What the f is reality right now? I swear to God, I'm not high, officer, but this trophy is right here. The next mission, they got a little bit more serious because we can't be drug tripping every time. I mean, we could. But it had us fight the Sunflower Queen, and I low-key kind of felt bad. The Sunflower has always been the pinnacle of plant holiness in this game, and it kind of felt like we were killing a god. It really did. Anyways, we don't actually kill it. Instead, a nuke just falls right next to the queen as if it's 1945 still. And this trophy then exploded for me. Haha, get it? So yeah, moving on, my next trophy wasn't story, but instead 200 kills with the Foot Soldier Zombie because it's the only dude I use for this entire storyline in Weird Wood or whatever it's called. Now speaking of weird stuff, the next story mission had us follow a washing machine around the world, and yeah, that was the entire mission. And funnily enough, I think the Paw Patrol game has a story that makes more sense than this game does, and it has talking flying dogs in that game. Still more realistic than a talking moving washing machine. And it wasn't even factually correct. I mean, we should have just been following around a real woman. I apologize to 5% of my viewership, which is up from 3% last time. I knew I had game. Anyways, the final mission was then a boss fight against a giant tree named Dreadwood. The only thing I'm dreading right now is this game. But the fight was also the worst out of any of the finale events so far. And this is mostly because the thing's main game plan of attack was just knocking us off the platform to the floor. And you don't die if you fall, you just feel like a failure because then you have to climb all the way back up just to fall off again. The myth of Sisyphus is timeless. Eventually, I did win though, and the only wood remaining is in my pants. I mean, here's the trophy. So that's the story done with, and actually, funnily enough, pretty much stage 1 completed besides the grindy trophies inside of it. So I kind of just began stage 2, which was to play the multiplayer and collect all the multiplayer exclusive trophies. There was only 3 of them, thankfully, which is even more of a W because for one, not many people play this trash, and those that do are all sweating more than a hot summer's night with 6 dudes, if you catch my drift. But the first of these trophies I got was from vanquishing 100 plants in PvP, and this took me multiple hours to get because I was getting on, to be honest. Also, AI enemy kills don't count towards this trophy despite them counting as the same amount of XP in game, looking the same, and the game automatically throwing in AI enemies when the lobby isn't full. So that's kind of stupid, but here's the trophy anyways. I then got 10 revives next, which is super easy, and here's that trophy. But I would then actually take a break from multiplayer because I was low-key crashing out and I couldn't get put on the plants team, which is what I needed to now since the zombie elimination trophy is my last one. So I just did some more random trophies. First from vanquishing 35 gnomes, and this is easily done inside of the gnome challenge since they just constantly run at you until you die or fail, so here's that. I then got 200 vanquishes as an acorn, and yes, that is the playable character in this game, an acorn. Literally the most inanimate plant you could choose. I don't even know if that is considered a plant. It's a nut, I'm pretty sure, but whatever. I don't even know anymore. But while I was doing that gnome challenge, I also did farm out 20 multi-kills with the Oak's roll ability, and this is just when you throw a log at people, so here's that trophy pop. I then got an absolutely skillless trophy from using 25 expressions, the modern emote, if you will, Rage Bait 101. But I did end up returning to PvP next, and I actually farmed out 2 trophies, which don't have to be done here, however, they very much can be. First, from giving 1000 overhealth as the scientist. Overhealth, by the way, is just when you heal people that are already max HP, and it adds like a little golden boost to the top of it. Once doing 1000 of it, the trophy then pops and it only takes a few minutes to do that. I then blocked 1000 damage with the dummy shield as the all-star. Again, super easy. Especially since people in this game who still play attack you on sight is actually a crime. And I would also finally end up getting that 100 vanquishes on zombies trophy about 30 minutes after that one when I finally landed on plants team again. Pretty simple trophy, also a lot easier than the zombies one because the pea shooter is daddy. After getting my 100th kill, the trophy then popped right here. Now after that, I then farmed out the plants respectable trophies like with the Citron and blocking 1000 damage but with his shield this time, and then doing 1000 over health again but with the Sunflower, both extremely easy trophies. And speaking of easy trophies, it's kind of all that is left now besides the kills per character and the level trophy as we all know. So I went and got every single trophy that is in those, starting with playing the Plants vs Zombies theme on the piano in the home hub. Also, it had no sound when you did it, so W game. Shout out to video guide creators. Where would I be without them? I then played this dance minigame, which wasn't really a dance minigame, more of a don't get shocked to death minigame. And it's also not very hard to get 25, which is what the trophy requires. I also did get 24 on my first attempt, so I'm crashing out right now. But on second go, I got over 30, so I'm the GOAT confirmed. I then just vanquished 25 enemies while on a carousel in the hub PvP area, which is very weird just like the rest of this game is. I also spawned in 25 bots that I did farm out because yes, so here's that trophy. I then got one more trophy before locking out on the glitch again, and it was just from getting 200 eliminations as an imp, so here's that baby. But like I said, the next trophy would end up being that master rank on 20 characters trophy, which is that 130 hour grind trophy. trophy, and yes, I used the same glitch as earlier. And the reason I didn't do this sooner was because, well, again, me and Morty are like a 7-hour time difference, so I had a ton of time to do other things as he lived his life like a normal person should, and not a trophy hunting fiend like myself. But I want to say another massive thank you to Morty for all of his help. Not only did he make this video possible today, he saved me legitimately hundreds of hours of my life being poured into this game just to get a leveling trophy. So W Morty, the homie confirmed. But we spent like 7 hours straight doing this. Yes, ancestors above, you will be tormented into watching all 7 of them with me, you motherfuckers. I don't know if you guys have ever done something for 7 hours straight, but if you have, you would know that it is boring as a motherfucker. A few times I almost nodded off because of how boring this shit is, and I am kind of shocked that I didn't. It was horrible. Anyways, there isn't much else to say about this glitch, seeing as I already explained it. So just do it until max, and that's what I did. Getting the trophy finally, and a single tear rolled down my cheek. Now, if you thought the grind was over, I'm sorry to say, but it's not. It's definitely not. And Morty joined me for another 2 hours to go hunt medals in this game. I also ended up having to get to 80 of them and not 75 because apparently the trophy is bugged. Personally, I think they just hate us, but that's me. Now, this was mentioned on the trophy guide, although it does still suck caca seeing it happen in real time. Also, medals in this game are gotten from a bunch of things, usually just random BS, collectibles, events, so not very hard to get them. And once I did get my 80th, I guess, the trophy finally popped, so here it is. I then landed myself in the final stage of the game, stage 4, class-specific trophy cleanup. Another extremely boring portion of gameplay because, I mean, come on, this game is just boring in general without having to get trophies on it. But the first handful of trophies I did were all from using special moves and getting kills with them. First with 20 kills while rocket riding as the 80s action hero, a new character to Plants vs. Zombies in this game. Then from 20 with the Disco Tornado by the playable character named Electric Slide. I then got 20 kills with the Crater Maker on Space Station, which this is my favorite move on AI, I can't lie, it's actually amazing. And I then got 2 more trophies relating to the Nightcap, which is again another new character, but the first was just 200 kills in total. Then from using its Invisible Run boost for 1,000 feet, so here are both of those. And unfortunately, literally every single remaining trophy is just me getting 200 kills on every character you need to. This took like 4, almost 5 hours to do, and it was boring again. Very boring. I pretty much just played Ops the entire time despite it being an ass version of Ops. Still good for farming kills. And I won't edge you guys anymore by saying 200 kills with this and 200 kills with that. So here's all of these popping rapidly like my ADHD is going right now. Evidently enough unlocking us that platinum trophy after all was said and done. And the #1 fastest time to ever be done. So that was the Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville platinum trophy experience. I can't even imagine what this one is like doing without XP glitches because even with them it still sucked ass water. I don't know why EA and PopCap created this game, it's just not needed. And at no point did it even feel like I was playing a real game. It legitimately feels like a demo of sorts. It's so goofy. But that's all for today. Thank you for watching. I can't think of something out of pocket to say to end this video, so fuck you.